Good evening. My name is Isaac Esparza, and it's a pleasure to welcome you all to San Antonio de Padua, those of you visiting us with us here in person, and for those of us that are watching from wherever you are across Facebook and YouTube. We're here again another week to meditate and pray and walk together with Christ through the stations of the cross. Of course, in a moment, we'll have some volunteers take the cross and the candles to each of the stations to walk, and those of you at home will join us in prayer through each of the stations. So let's begin. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. These 14 steps that you are now about to walk, you do not take alone. I walk with you. Through you are you, and I am I. Yet we are truly one Christ. And therefore, my way of the cross 2,000 years ago and your way now are also one. But note this difference. My life was incomplete until now, until I crowned it by my death. Your 14 steps will only be complete when you have crowned them by your life. We can have our volunteers to carry the cross and the candles to first station.
Primera estación. Jesús es condenado. Habla Cristo. Mi querido otro yo, en las manos de Pilato, encuentro la voluntad de mi Padre. Aunque sea injusto, Pilato ejerce poder terrenal sobre mí. Por tanto, el Hijo de Dios obedece. Si yo puedo someterme a la voluntad de mi Padre, ¿no podrías tú someterte incluso frente a la injusticia? Respondo, mi Señor Jesús, tu obediencia te costó la vida. La obediencia mía no me cuesta más que un acto de voluntad. Y sin embargo, qué difícil es para mí ceder. Quítame la venda de mis ojos para que pueda ver que eres tú el único a quien obedezco. Señor, eres tú. Were you there when the judge condemned my Lord? Were you there when the judge condemned my Lord? Oh, sometimes it causes me to tremble, tremble, tremble.
Station number 2. Jesus takes his cross. Christ speaks. This cross, this chunk of tree, is what my Father chose for me. The crosses you must bear are largely products of your daily life, and yet my Father chose them too for you. Receive them from his hands. Take heart, my other self. I will let your burdens grow, one once too heavy for your strength. I replied, my Jesus, Lord, I take my daily cross. I welcome the monotony that often marks my day, discomforts of all kinds, the summer's heat, the winter's cold, my disappointments, tensions, setbacks, cares. Remind me often that in carrying my cross, I carry yours with you. And though I bear a silver only of your cross, you carry all of mine except a silver in return.
Tercera estación. Jesús cae. El Dios que creó el universo y lo sostiene por su propia voluntad se hace hombre, demasiado débil para soportar el peso de la madera. Tan humano es su debilidad, es el Hijo de Dios, así mi Padre lo quiso. Si no fuera así, no podría ser yo tu modelo. Si quisiera ser mi otro yo, también deberías de aceptar sin quejarte tus fragilidades humanas. Respondo, Señor Jesús, ¿cómo no aceptar? De buena gana acepto mis debilidades, mis molestias y mi mal humor, mis dolores de cabeza y mi fatiga, todos mis defectos de cuerpo, mente y alma. Gozosamente los sufro, porque estas discapacidades de mi humanidad son para mí tu voluntad. Hazme contento con todos mis descontentos, pero dame fuerza para mi lucha de seguirte.
Were you there when he fell beneath its weight? Were you there when he fell beneath its weight? Oh, sometimes it causes me to tremble, tremble, tremble. Were you there when he fell beneath its weight?
Fourth station. Jesus meets his mother. My mother sees me whipped. She sees me kicked, and driven like a beast. She counts my every wound, but though her soul cries out in agony, no protest or complaint escapes her lips or even enters her thoughts. She shares my martyrdom, and I share hers. We hide no pain, no sorrow from each other's eyes. This is my Father's will. We reply, My Jesus, Lord, I know what you are telling me. To watch the pain of those we love is harder than to bear our own. To carry my cross after you, I too must stand and watch, and sufferings of my dear ones, the heartaches, sickness and grief of those I love. And I must let them watch mine too. I do believe, for those who love you, all things work together unto good.
Were you there when he saw his mother weep? Were you there when he saw his mother weep? Oh, sometimes it causes me to tremble, tremble, tremble. Were you there when he saw his mother weep?
Quinta estación. Simón ayuda a Jesús. Habla Cristo. Se ha ido mi fuerza. Ya no puedo cargar la cruz yo solo. Por eso los soldados insisten en que Simón me ayude. Este hombre es como tú, mi querido otro yo. Préstame tu fuerza. Cada vez que alivias al otro una carga pesada, así levantas el terrible peso de la cruz que me aplasta, como si fuera con tu propia mano. Respondo, Señor, hazme consciente de que cada vez que lavo un plato, recojo algo del suelo, ayudo a un niño con alguna tarea o cedo el paso al otro en el tráfico o en el supermercado. De que cuando doy comida al hambriento, visto al desnudo, enseño al ignorante o me ofrezco al servicio de otro en cualquier manera. No importa a quién. Es como si yo fuera Simón mismo, y la bondad que les brindo a ellos, en realidad te la doy a ti.
Were you there when they called for Simon's help? Were you there when they called for Simon's help? Oh, sometimes it causes me to tremble, tremble, tremble. Were you there when they called for Simon's help?
Sixth station. Veronica helps Jesus. Christ speaks. Can you be brave enough, my other self, to wipe my bloody face? Where is my face, you ask? At home, whenever eyes fill up with tears, at work when tensions rise, or playgrounds in the slums, the courts, the hospitals, the jails. Whenever suffering exists, my face is there. And there I look for you to wipe away my blood and tears. We reply, Lord, what you ask is hard. It calls for courage and self-sacrifice, and I am weak. Please give me strength. Don't let me run away because of fear. Lord, live in me and act in me and love in me and not in me alone, in all of us, so that we may reveal no more your bloody but your glorious face on earth.
Were you there when Veronica wiped his face? Were you there when Veronica wiped his face? Oh, sometimes it causes me to tremble, tremble, tremble. Were you there when Veronica wiped his face?
Séptima estación. Jesús cae otra vez. Habla Cristo. Este séptimo paso, mi querido otro yo, pone a prueba tu voluntad. Por esta caída aprende a perseverar en hacer el bien. Llegará el tiempo cuando todo tu esfuerzo parecerá fallar y pensarás, no puedo seguir. En esa instancia, recurre a mí, querido amigo agobiado. Confía en mí y continúa. Respondo, dame la valencia, Señor, cuando me agobia el fracaso y me encuentro solo. Extiende tu mano y levántame. Sé que no debo parar, sino perseverar en hacer el bien. Ayúdame pues, Señor. Solo no hay nada que puedo hacer. Contigo puedo hacer lo que me pidas y lo haré.
Were you there when he fell again in pain? Were you there when he fell again in pain? Oh, sometimes it causes me to tremble, tremble, tremble. Were you there when he fell again in pain?
Eighth station. Jesus consoles the women. Christ speaks. How often had I longed to take the children of Jerusalem and gather them to me, but they refused. But now these women weep for me, and my heart mourns for them, mourns for their sorrows that will come. I comfort those who seek to solace me. How gentle can you be, my other self? How kind? We reply, my Jesus, your compassion in your passion is beyond compare. Lord, teach me, help me learn, when I would snap at those who hurt me with their ridicule, those who misunderstand or hinder me with some misguided helpfulness, those who intrude upon my privacy. Then help me curb my tongue, my gentleness become my cloak. Lord, make me kind like you.
Were you there when the women mourned for him? Were you there when the women mourned for him? Oh, sometimes it causes me to tremble, tremble, tremble. Were you there when the women mourned for him?
Novena estación, la tercera caída. Habla Cristo. Totalmente agotado, estoy desplomado en el sendero empedrado. Ya no me puedo mover. Ni golpes ni patadas me pueden forzar a levantarme. Y sin embargo, mi voluntad es mía, y así es la tuya. Sepa una cosa, mi querido otro yo. Aunque tu cuerpo esté quebrado, no existe en la tierra, tampoco en el infierno, una fuerza que te pueda quitar tu voluntad. Tu voluntad es tuya. Respondo, mi Señor, te veo descansar por un momento, y enseguida te levantas y sigues adelante, con los pasos inestables. Entonces yo puedo hacerlo, pues mi voluntad es mía. Cuando desaparezca mi fuerza y la culpa y el autorreproche me aplasten en la tierra y parezca que me agarran, protégeme del pecado de Judas, sálvame de la desesperación. Señor, nunca me dejes sentir que algún pecado mío sea más grande que tu amor. No importa cuál sea mi pasado, puedo comenzar de nuevo.
Were you there when he fell yet once again? Were you there when he fell yet once again? Oh, sometimes it causes me to tremble, tremble, tremble. Were you there when he fell yet once again?
The 10th station, Jesus is stripped. Christ speaks. Behold my other self, the poorest king who ever lived. Before my creatures I stand stripped. The cross, my deathbed, even this is not my own. Yet who has ever been so rich? Possessing nothing, I own all, my Father's love. If you too would own everything, Be not salacious about your food, your clothes, your life. We reply, My Lord, I offer you my all, whatever I possess, and more, myself. Detach me from my craving for prestige, possession, wealth. Root out of me all trace of envy of my neighbor, who has more than I. Release me from the vice of pride, my longing to exalt myself, and lead me to the lowest place. May I be poor in spirit, Lord, so that I may be rich in you.
Were you there when they stripped him of his clothes? Were you there when they stripped him of his clothes? Oh, sometimes it causes me to tremble, tremble, tremble. Were you there when they stripped him of his clothes?
Onceava estación. Jesús es crucificado. Habla Cristo. ¿Puedes imaginar lo que significa ser crucificado? Mis verdugos estiran mis brazos, sostienen mi mano y muñeca contra la madera e insertan el clavo hasta romper la carne. Y después, con el golpe fuerte de un martillo, lo hacen penetrar y el dolor explota como una bomba de fuego en mi cerebro. Me agarran el otro brazo y de nuevo explota la agonía. Enseguida, levantando mis rodillas para sujetar mis pies contra la madera, los clavos fijos rápidamente. Respondo, mi Dios, te miro y me pregunto, ¿mi alma vale tanto? ¿Qué puedo darte a cambio? Ahora mismo acepto durante toda mi vida cualquier enfermedad, tormento o agonía que me pueda ocurrir. Cada cruz aprieta a mis labios. Oh Santa Cruz que me permite ser contigo, un corredentor de la humanidad.
Were you there when they nailed him to the cross? Were you there when they nailed him to the cross? Oh, sometimes it causes me to tremble, tremble, tremble. Were you there when they nailed him to the cross?
Twelfth station. Jesus dies. Christ speaks. The cross becomes a pulpit now. Forgive them, Father. You will be with me in paradise. There is your mother. There, your son. I thirst. It is complete. To speak I have to raise myself by pressing on my wrists and feet, and every move engulfs me in new waves of agony. And then, when I have borne enough, have emptied my humanity, I let my mortal life depart. We reply, my Jesus, God, what can I say or do? I offer you my death with all its pains, accepting now the time and kind of death in store for me. Not by a single instant would I lengthen my lifespan. I offer you my death for my own sins and for those of all humanity. My God, forsake us not. We know not what we do.
Were you there when he yielded up his soul? Were you there when he yielded up his soul? Oh, sometimes it causes me to tremble, tremble, tremble. Were you there when he yielded up his soul?
Décima tercera estación. Jesús es bajado. Habla Cristo. El sacrificio está cumplido. Sí, mi misa está terminada, pero no así la de mi madre, ni la tuya, mi querido otro yo. Todavía mi madre tiene que cargar en sus brazos el cuerpo sin vida del hijo al que diera a luz. Tú también tendrás que despedirte de tus seres queridos y el dolor te llegará. En tu duelo, piensa en esto. Una cantidad de almas fue salvada porque María compartió mi calvario. Tu dolor también puede ser el precio por las almas. Respondo, te ruego, Señor, ayúdame a aceptar las separaciones que tienen que ocurrir, los amigos que se van, mis hijos que dejan la casa y sobre todo mis seres queridos cuando tú los llamas a ti mismo. Entonces, dame la gracia para poder decir: ¿cómo te ha agradado llevarlos a casa, Señor? Acato tu más santa voluntad, y así contra tu voluntad pudieran una sola palabra restaurar sus vidas, no hablaría. Dales el gozo eterno.
Were you there when they took his body down? Were you there when they took his body down? Oh, sometimes it causes me to tremble, tremble, tremble. Were you there when they took his body down?
Fourteenth station. Jesus is buried. Christ speaks. So ends my mortal life. But now another life begins for Mary and for Magdalene, for Peter and for John, and you. My life's work is done. My work within and through my church must now commence. I look to you, my other self, day in, day out, from this time forth. Be my apostle, victim, saint. My Jesus Lord, you know my spirit is as willing as my flesh is weak. The teaching you could not impart, the sufferings you could not bear, the works of love you could not do. In short life on earth, let me impart and bear and do through you. But I am nothing, Lord. Help me.
Were you there when they laid him in the tomb? Were you there when they laid him in the tomb? Oh, sometimes it causes me to tremble, tremble, tremble. Were you there when they laid him in the tomb? Si nos podemos tomar un asiento, por favor, if we can please be seated. Vamos a tomar unos momentos de silencio para ofrecer estas estaciones de las cruz para unas intenciones que tengamos en nuestros corazones. I ask you to please take a few moments in silence and offer these stations for any special intentions that you may have in your heart. Mi otro yo, te dije desde el inicio que mi vida no fue completa hasta que la culminé con mi muerte. Tu vida no estará completa hasta que la culmines con tu vida. Acepta cada momento que te toca vivir con fe y con confianza de que todo lo que pase llevará mi sello. No requiere más que un simple fiat, un suspiro dentro de tu corazón que diga, lo deseo, Señor. Entonces, no me busques en lugares lejanos, pues estoy cerca. Tu mesón de trabajo, la oficina, la cocina. Estos lugares son tus altares, donde ofreces tu amor y estoy contigo allí. Anda, toma tu cruz y con tu vida completa tu vía. I told you at the start, my other self, my life was not complete until I crowned it by my death. Your way is not complete unless you crown it by your life. Accept each moment as it comes to you with faith and trust. That all that happens has my mark on it. A simple fiat, this is all it takes. A breathing in your heart. I will it, Lord. So seek me not in the far off places. I am close at hand. Your workbench, office, kitchen, these are altars where you offer love, and I am with you there. Go now, take up your cross, and with your life, complete your way. En el nombre del Padre, y del Hijo, y del Espíritu Santo. Les damos gracias por estar con nosotros en persona o en Facebook. Este es el último viernes que nos juntaremos a las 6:30 de la tarde. La próxima semana tendremos un simple Viacrucis a las 5:30. Tendremos la Divina Misericordia a las 5 y luego empezará nuestro servicio de Viernes Santo después de estos dos servicios. This is our last time that we will meet at 6:30 on the Friday. Next Friday, we will be gathering together at 5 for the Divine Mercy, at 5:30 for a simple Stations of the Cross here inside of the church, and then we will begin our services for Good Friday after that. I invite you to come join us in person or through Facebook. También los invito a todos los otros servicios que tendremos durante la semana, empezando naturalmente nuestra Semana Santa, mañana con la misa de las 4:15 o el domingo con las misas dominicanas. I invite you to start off our Holy Week tomorrow at 4:15 in Spanish, and then on Sunday the regular masses will be our regular masses, and we will begin our Holy Week. I thank you very much. Gracias. Por las personas que están aquí en persona, recordemos, le voy a hacer un comercial pequeño, los tacos de pescado están en el salón. Muchas gracias. Los libretos se los pueden llevar ahora, ¿ok? Gracias.